All right, day 2, trying it again. So today, it's impressed upon me to basically talk about identifying the hurt. Okay, so when I think about identifying hurt within ourselves, not looking at anybody else, but looking at us, I look at it like this. I think of a couple of things. I think of what was the root of the emotion. Let's start here. Let's start with identifying, in my eyes or in my opinion, what is hurt. I said that hurt is an emotion that causes our body to respond by either crying, shutting down, resorting to violence, self-destruction, etc. I mean, it could be a range of things that can happen when we are hurt. Okay, so we think about it when we say hurt. There's different actions that cause hurt. There's different actions that cause us to respond a certain way to a thing, to a situation, to a word. Somebody can say one word, and that word will trigger something in us, a hurt, a anger, you know what I mean? So it's just, now we're talking about identifying hurt. What caused us to have that emotion? Okay, so that this is where I'm, leading into today. So I started off by asking myself some questions. I was asking myself, what was the root of that emotion? What was the root of that hurt? Okay. Why did it hurt me so bad? And then what is the lesson to learn from it? Okay, so what was the root of it? Why did it hurt me so much? And what is the lesson to learn from it? So I think of things, I'm a cause and effect type person, right? I believe that everything that happens, there's a cause for it. I don't care what it is. Something caused it. Okay, cause and effect. That's the way I process things. That's the way I view things. Everything is cause and effect with me. Cause and effect. There has to be a cause to have that effect. Okay, so when identifying the hurt, I identify that I am hurting. I identify that there's an action that caused me to feel this pain. Right? It's causing my body to respond this way. There's something that was done to cause me to feel this way and to respond that way. Now, how do I've identified it. Okay? I'm looking to identify what it was, right? So I'm looking to identify what caused that. We sit and sometimes we'll say, "Oh, it wasn't what you said, it's the way you said it." Okay. So if it was the way I said it, if I'm a person that I'm blunt about everything, you know what I mean? And I could say one thing to you and it causes you to just lose it. And then someone else can come and say the same thing that I said to you, but in a different tone, and you don't have the same response. What is it? Because of the way that it was said, or is it because of what was said? So, I mean, I know it sounds like I'm all over the place, but it's just, these are things that I think about, because when you look at how, people respond to things, and you're sitting and you're like, wow, that was, wait a minute, or how you respond to things. I have to really sit and talk to myself about this stuff. Was it what they said or how they said it? You know what I mean? Because sometimes we can say things and it can be true, but because of the way you said it, I don't receive it. You know what I mean? So I have to sit sometimes with myself and I'd be like, okay, let me make sure, sometimes I have a conversation with myself before I have a conversation with somebody else, if that makes sense. I'm sitting here and I'm processing in my head, okay, say it like this. No, I can't say it like that. Let me say it like this. So we sit and we think about that, because right now it's about me. I'm processing me and what am I thinking, and how is this? Why am I feeling the way I'm feeling? And what came to me was growing up. I grew up, my mother as a single parent. I knew my dad. My dad has been in my life, but we never were in the same home. Okay. And so I grew up with my grandfather. My mom's an only girl with the next set of children. It's a long story, but we'll get into that later. But I had all uncles. So my uncles and my grandfather, they didn't discipline us. They didn't discipline the girls. They would discipline my brother, but they wouldn't discipline the girls. So I wasn't used to like men yelling at me or, being stern with me or any of that. So my relationships, especially with the opposite sex, it was like if a man had a certain tone, it was like, wait a minute. I mean, he could be saying something that was okay, but it was the way he said it that would cause me to not receive what was said, even if it was a right thing. And so I started to look at that. And this is just an example, but it could be, this doesn't have to be your example, but this is just, something that I've been processing. It was the way that it was said, and it was the tone that it was said in, and it was like I just was shut down. If a male raised his voice at me, it was like, you get nothing out of me. You get nothing, no sound, no, just nothing, right? So